The reaction to my open and this terrifying crime surge, Vice President of the San Francisco Police Officers Association, Lieutenant Tracy McCray, and National Vice President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Sergeant Joe Gamaldi. All right, thank you both for being with us tonight. You know, I assume that you both agree that police are under such pressure that they're actually hesitating in some cases to make arrests. But I want to address you, Lieutenant McCray, first about what happened at Neiman Marcus this week in San Francisco and the fact that apparently 76% of people in San Francisco want more police in the city. What is going on?
Well, thank you for having me, and you're correct. It's out of control. It's chaos, and people are feeling that. And when these incidents are captured on video, then the whole world can see it. And so, yes, people feel unsafe, and they do want more police officers, contrary to what some of our elected officials would have you believe, especially our district attorney.
Well, and your district attorney is who?
Chesa Boudin, so who believes that criminals are the real victims, not the people who are being victimized by criminals, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I also know he has a reputation for not going after domestic violence criminals, which, you know, is something that infuriates me. But Sergeant Gamaldi, you know, the truth is that you've got businesses now that are trying to protect their businesses and protect shoppers, and they've got surveillance equipment, they're hiring security guards, you know, they're spending all kinds of money. But even if they apprehend someone, unlike what happened at Neiman Marcus last week in San Francisco, are those criminals being punished?
Well, absolutely not. They're not being punished. And let me go back to something that happened in your open when Mayor Lightfoot said that crime is down in Chicago. Actually, shootings are up 67% in Chicago. Just like in New York, they're up 142%. Yep. And the worst part about it is it's our black and brown communities that are being impacted the most. So when you hear these politicians saying that black and brown lives matter, what they really mean is they only matter when they're politically expedient. So when they want to let these repeat violent offenders out over and over again to kill, they don't care about the lives in their community. All they care about is their radical agenda. But the sad thing is, we have the ability to fix this. We're just not doing anything about it. If we restore the rule of law, which means we don't allow people to steal $1,000 worth of products out of a store, and I mean the private sector got it. Walgreens closed 17 stores in San Francisco. And if we prosecute violent criminals to the fullest extent of the law, in Chicago, the people who are being caught for shooting and murdering people are out already on an average of 12 previous arrests. You think if we threw the book at these miscreants a little bit sooner, we would have these problems? And if we embrace broken windows theory to take our neighborhoods back, we can make a difference. But most importantly, if you're watching there at home and your community is ravaged by violent crime and your elected officials aren't standing on a platform of law and order, vote their asses out.
Okay. Lieutenant McCray, you know, you were in the area where the Walgreens, they shortened their hours, and then, you know, they started shutting down because people were walking in and stealing as though it's a candy store. And also the increase in violent crime. What are the police doing? I mean, what is the morale at the police department in San Francisco?
Well, I'm going to give it to my brother over there, drop the mic on him. Just like he said, morale, we have staffing issues. You know, people are hesitant to do their job because they're afraid of being, you know, prosecuted because he's not prosecuting criminals. He has no problem prosecuting cops. And another thing, when you're talking about the gun violence, right? What about ghost guns? Right? We have taken a number of ghost guns off the street. Remember, people can now print that and go use that for a crime, to kill people, to rob people. So let's not forget about that either. So this whole notion of law and order needs to come back, and people need to respect the rule of law, right? Which is not happening. So when you're saying, oh, you know, they're just stealing an expensive handbag, no, they're not. They're crippling people's ability to make a living, because if those stores close, then what are they going to do? They've already cut back the hour. They hire us to make sure that the people coming in and robbing them don't accost the people who are going to actually pay for the items they're buying. I mean, that is absolutely just crazy.
Okay, so let's, to both of you, these businesses, all right, and I'm more concerned with, innocent bystanders getting shot by these thugs with guns. But these businesses, they're smart people. Don't they know how to put pressure on politicians? I mean, 70% of the businesses, I understand, are hiring people so that their inventory is protected. I mean, what are they doing to impact judges and the DAs? I'll go to you on that, Sergeant Gamaldi.
Well, I think what you're seeing is a lot of these business owners are starting to band together, and there's a couple class action lawsuits that are going on in a couple different cities where they're actually suing the city councils for not providing protection.
Right.
And I think what people
Right.
need to do is really stand up. These businesses need to make sure that they're talking to their elected officials. They need to show up at the city council meetings. So city council needs to feel the heat a little bit, because all they're doing is listening to the radical left who are going in and saying, well, we need to defund the police while crime is through the roof. This is not even a valid talking point at this point. So they shouldn't even have a place at the microphone.
All right. And Lieutenant McCrae, I just have 15 seconds. I mean, is there any hope in terms of San Francisco and where it is right now in getting the mayor, the DA, or the judges to sit down with police and discuss crime with them?
Well, I think it's exactly what he said, going to these council meetings, letting them know, letting your voice be heard. We have the recall of the district attorney happening, and I think he knows that. And so he's afraid because he will get booted out because people are tired of this. You want to be secure in your home.
When is the recall?
But guess what? They have to have the signatures by August 11th, and I think they're well on their way to having that and even more. So it's going to happen. Just be prepared.
All right. Lieutenant McCrae, I want to stay connected to you on Chesa Boudin. That man does not belong as a district attorney, and I say that as a former DA myself. Lieutenant Tracy McCrae, thank you for all you do. Sergeant Joe Gamaldi, we love you on Justice. Take care. Thanks.